Hey guys, welcome to another edition of our Children's Ministry Podcast. And our theme for this school year is Reach, helping insiders reach outsiders. From Colossians 4, 5 through 6, be wise in the way you act toward outsiders. Make the most of every opportunity. Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everybody. And so that's what we want to do for our kids this year. We want to help insiders reach outsiders. And one of the ways that we can do that is to help kids grow in their faith or develop a lasting faith. I remember my first serving opportunity. It was my sophomore year of high school, and our church had a Sunday night program for kids, and so I signed up to work with preschoolers, with 3-4-year-olds, and I helped out with like a little puppet show and taught every once in a while and helped to get supplies ready and stuff like that. And for me, that was my first taste of any kind of ministry, of any kind of serving. And actually, I've been in children's ministry ever since. And so, but doing that was a very neat experience for me, because I wasn't just listening to people talk about God's Word, I was actually putting it into practice. And when I think back to some of my friends and people that I knew in that youth group at that time, of the ones who are still really deepening their faith and living that out, are the ones who were doing something with it back then, who weren't just listening to messages or attending events, but were actually serving others and actually putting it into practice. And kids, guys, at the end of the day, kids are more likely to grow in their faith when they have something meaningful to do with their faith. Kids are more likely to grow in their faith when they have something meaningful to do with their faith. And really, this is just James 1:22. Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. And in order for kids to have a lasting faith, we've got to give them opportunities to put that into practice. And that can look like a lot of different things. It depends on the kid. If you're working with younger kids, even when they help you out, like, hey, could you go get that box of supplies for me? Or giving them an opportunity to share their memory verse, or following up if they're doing the handout that we give our older kids each week, or even having them memorize the verse and saying it to kids, or being a buddy to a new kid. Those are all ways that kids are putting their faith into practice, that they're not just hearing it, but they're actually doing it. Because at the end of the day, don't we want our kids to not only be hearers of the word, but we want them to be doers. And that's how they will have a lasting faith. Kids are more likely to grow in their faith when they have something meaningful to do with their faith. And when they deepen their faith, it will be a lasting faith, and it will become a contagious faith. And they will be the insiders that reach outsiders. Not just the insiders that are sitting there who know the Bible stories, but they will be the insiders who reach outsiders. And really, at the end of the day, isn't that what reached us? Someone who was not just talking about their faith, but was actually doing something with it. And that's how our kids are not only going to grow in their faith, but how their faith is going to grow in the hearts and minds of those in their oikos. So this week, as you're in your classes and groups and doing different things, just remember that kids are more likely to grow in their faith when they have something meaningful to do with their faith. And just think about what's something meaningful that I can give the kids that God has entrusted in my group and in my class and in my ministry. What can I give them that's meaningful to do with their faith this week?